Hi there, I'm Liz and I'm here with Fun Science Demos to show you this super cool interactive simulation from PhET. It's on the pH scale and I'm just going to go through the basics on how to use the simulation. So first off, when you load into the website, there are actually three parts to the simulation. First being macro, and then micro, and then my solution. I will go through them starting from left to right, so let's get started with macro. This is what your screen will look like when you first click on macro. There are a few things that you can interact with. First off, let's look at the drop-down list at the top. There are a bunch of different liquids that you can add into the beaker. You can choose whichever one you like. I'll just choose battery acid. Afterwards, you can also check the pH of your substance by taking this green circle and dragging it into the beaker, and you'll see the pH of the liquid that you chose over here to the left. In this case, the pH is 1. You can also add more of your chosen liquid into the beaker by clicking this red dot at the top of the eyedropper. Let's say you accidentally add too much, you can always remove it by pulling this blue tab off on the side. As you can see here, some of it is exiting the beaker, and if you want, you can always add water by doing the same thing and pulling the blue tab at the top. As you do this, make sure to keep an eye out on your pH over here at the left to see how it's changing depending on whether or not you're adding water, removing water, and whatnot. Now we're going to move on to the second part of the simulation, which is micro. So this is what you should first see when you open up micro. It's a lot similar to macro, but there are some different aspects to it. First off, again, you can change whichever liquid you want to use. I'm going to choose battery acid again. Over here to the left, you can actually see how many hydroxide ions there are, hydronium ions, and water molecules that are currently present in your liquid. You can also look at the molar concentration, and if you want to switch it, just click on this little tab and it'll show you the quantity or the amount of moles of each. And at the bottom, you can view it in a logarithmic form or in a linear form. And the last thing that you can view is the hydronium to hydroxide ratio by clicking on this check mark. And you can also see how many particles are currently in your liquid. So what I would recommend is going through the different liquids that they have and looking at the pH as how this connects back to how many hydroxide ions, hydronium ions, and water molecules there are. Now we're going to look at the final part of the simulation, and it's called my solution. So for my solution, there are actually three things that you can change in this. The first being the pH. You can either increase it or decrease it by clicking on the up and down arrows. So I'm just going to hold it and let the pH increase. As you do so, you'll notice that the amount of hydroxide ions is increasing while the amount of hydronium ions is decreasing. You can also change the amount of hydronium or hydroxide ions by clicking on the green arrow and dragging it up and down. As you do so, you'll notice that the pH of over here is changing, as well as the color of the particles in the beaker. I would recommend changing the pH as well as changing the amount of hydronium and hydroxide ions to see how these two elements relate to each other. That was the last thing for the pH simulator. If you want to try it out, the link will be down in the description. But other than that, thank you so much for watching here on Fun Science Demos.